Hi there, it's Emily. I'm not sure that this is working. I've had a little bit of problems with it this morning. I'm just going to check my page and see that I'm online. I hope you're all having a lovely morning, a great start to the week. Let me know when you come on and post a little comment to let me know who's there. Yes, all looks good. Okay, so today I wanted to speak to you a little bit about overcoming self-doubt and moving forward with your goals. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I've been having a range of different sessions recently with a range of leaders in different roles where they've been excited and motivated and inspired and passionate about moving towards a particular goal that they had in mind, whether it be in their career, in their role with their team, in their organisation, or also maybe in their life, in their, finding work-life balance, or in, achieving some particular goal that they had in mind. And one of the common threads which has come through that I wanted to talk about today is really about self-doubt and how powerful sometimes self-doubt is in preventing you moving forward with things that you're excited about and, really looking forward to. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I think being able to overcome self-doubt is a really powerful strategy in being able to move forward and achieve the things that you've set out to achieve. Now my computer's just doing funny things. Sorry. So one of the things that I think is really important is recognizing that when self-doubt kicks in and it stops you from moving forward, it's really about your own internal state rather than something external which is standing in the way. So often we look at all the external things and we say, oh, I don't have this. When I have that, I'll be able to move forward. Or when this happens, then I'll be able to move forward. Or I'm waiting for this to arrive and then, I'll be able to move forward. When ultimately the barrier is really about your own internal state and your own internal thoughts that are telling you that all of these circumstances need to be perfect in order for me to be able to move forward, in order for me to be able to be successful. Now it's telling me the connection is weak, so hopefully all is good. I'm just going to keep going anyway. But yeah, if you jump on, let me know if there's any problems with the feed. So I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about this because there's the two elements, which is the past, bringing the past forward, past failures, past examples of things not working the way that you'd hoped, or past times when you haven't been able to just get over the line, bringing that forward and thinking, well, because I wasn't able to do that, maybe I won't be able to do it again. And then there's the future, which is about not knowing what to expect and not knowing what's going to happen and how things are going to happen and whether or not you'll have the skills and capabilities to be able to move forward and achieve the things that you've set out to achieve. So there's the two bits that we need to really be mindful of, the past and also the future vision that we have of ourselves and our successes. So I want us to start a little bit by talking about self-doubt itself and what self-doubt really is. And I think it's an important element to recognize it as self-doubt in the first place, because as we talked about before, if you're stuck in thinking it's external circumstances that are getting in your way, it's going to be a lot harder to move forward than in recognizing that actually this is about self-doubt. These are internal barriers that I'm putting up to moving forward. And once you recognize them as self-doubt, you then have the power to start to analyze it a little bit more and understand it a bit more and then be able to move forward. So in terms of the strategies, I've got 4 strategies which I've listed today that I'd like to talk to you about. And the first one is really honing in and drilling down on what the self-doubt is. So what are the thoughts that are going through your mind? Really opening it up and delving into this. One of the strategies that I often recommend to my clients that's a useful way of really uncovering this and becoming more self-aware about these patterns of thinking which come up for you is about using journaling or using some way of actually recording when you start to experience these self-doubt these feelings of self-doubt and these thoughts, start to document, like write them down, jot down some dot points on a paper. What are the thoughts going through my head? And what you'll find is there'll be certain things which will come up which were somewhat out of your awareness before, which are kind of patterned ways of thinking for you. So, in psychology, we talk about these as being automatic thoughts, automatic things which come up when you're faced with a situation, which tend to be patterned thinking that might have happened over many years. It may even be something which stems right back to when you were a kid. But often it's about learned thinking and learned patterns of behaviour, or learn patterns of thinking and feeling, which influence then the actions that you then take. So a good example of this is the thought, I'm not good enough. And this is a hugely common thought that comes up in time and time again in my work with coaching clients and in my counselling work as well. A belief that I'm not good enough can be quite powerful in stopping you in your tracks. So even when you're excited and motivated about a goal that you're working towards, as soon as you start worrying, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not going to be able to do take this action, or I'm not going to be able to move past the barriers to achieve what I want to achieve, it can really stop you from moving forward. So the biggest step forward in moving out of that space of being blocked and stuck is to really become aware of your thoughts and your thinking patterns. And what you'll often find is that these patterns are repeated. They come up for you time and time again, and by becoming more aware of these, you'll be in a better place to actually recognize them and start to accept them as a thought and not as a real barrier that's standing in your way. So one of the other things, I guess, that's really useful to kind of think about is what are the other ways that you can look at this. So yes, you have these automatic patterns of thinking and thoughts and ways of looking at I keep getting little messages popping up on my screen. You might have these patterns, but they're internal to you, and they're something that you will have learned in the past and something that you're carrying with you because of some learning that you've taken on board. But the empowering element part of this is really understanding that means you can change it. You can rewire your brain. You can relearn new ways of thinking and operating and acting in the world. And you can learn new ways of approaching things just by repeating and patterning new ways of thinking. So the second strategy is just about this. It's really about thinking about what are other ways I could look at this? What are other thoughts that I could be having? And really honing in on alternative ways, more helpful ways of looking at the situation and of looking at the way that you would be thinking about things if you were actually in your best state. So it's helpful sometimes to really think about, if I was supremely confident here and I believed in myself and I knew I could move forward and I knew that I was going to be successful and that I could lead others to do the same, what would I be thinking? What would be the thoughts and the beliefs that would be coming up for me, and what would be the story I would be telling myself about how I'm going to do this? It would be completely different. I can guarantee you that if you believe in yourself and you know that you can achieve these things and you believe that it's possible, you will be having different thoughts. You won't be having self-doubting thoughts. You will be having self-believing thoughts where you're actually encouraging yourself and motivating yourself to move forward. And this is the third strategy, which is really about cultivating that new story. So you might have had that old story for years and years and years. You've got these automatic thoughts that come up, and yes, they will still continue to come up for you. But if you can channel that into new thinking, if you can actually balance it with some new thoughts and new beliefs about yourself and new beliefs about the world and what the possibilities are and the reality, which is that automatic thought is only one perspective on the issue that you're dealing with. There are so many more ways that you could actually look at this and move forward. And it's really important that you actually consciously do this, that you consciously go through the different ways of thinking about things in order to balance things up and in order to Someone jumped on for a minute then. I was hoping that they would send me a message and let me know who it was. Yeah, it's a really important thing to be able to take on board those different thoughts and the different ways of looking at things and integrating that into your story and into the way that you see yourself and into the way that you see the possibilities for you. And so this is all about creating that new story and really like building it. I think I talked earlier about writing in your journal to uncover those automatic thoughts. Well, writing in your journal is a very powerful way of creating your new story as well and creating those new thoughts. So you've put down your dot points of the automatic thoughts that you are having. Now put down, what are the other thoughts that I need to be having? What are the thoughts that I need to be reminding myself of and training myself to believe in and, repeating so that I can really start to cultivate that more balanced self-believing and self-worth, that really will help you to be able to move forward and keep going when things, when your self-doubt kicks in. Finally, we've talked all about the thinking and creating other new ways of looking at things and really building that story. And finally, it's all about taking action. So whenever you are looking at taking action in the world, you really want to be coming back and thinking about what are the thoughts that are going to help me move forward, choosing those thoughts and actually actively building on those when you're taking action. Like if you've got self-doubt going on, that is not going to be supporting you to move forward. Those are not the thoughts that are going to help you to move forward. If you really want to move forward, you need to start paying attention to those supportive and encouraging and, believing thoughts. Those are the ones. So that is what I will leave you with. I hope that you've found these steps helpful. It's really all about training your mind and, building that self-belief as an alternative to self-doubt. I hope that you found this video useful. I'd really love it if you do get a chance to watch this later on. If you leave a message and let me know what you thought of the video, but also about any strategies that you use to overcome self-doubt and be able to move forward with your goals. I'd always love to hear your ideas on these issues as well. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.